कृष्ण्यं विचारानंदस्मितारूपानुगमात् संप्रज्ञातः. I didn't practice the rest, but I'll try. पूर्वेशामपि गुरुः कालेनानवच्छेदात् तस्य वाचकः प्रणवः तज्जपस्तदर्थ भावनम्.
Which one is this?
I don't know.
No. You're unto 17, you're okay. 18 is Virama Prachaya Abhyasa.
Yeah, Bala Guru, please go ahead.
Viram. Okay.
I think it should be good. Until 20 we will read, or 18 we will read, because that is what we have assigned. So 1 to 18.
Oh, 1 to 18. Okay. No, 1 to 20 or 18?
It's up to you, Balagar. If you have learned 1 to 20, go until 1 to 20.
Oh, I cannot hear Madhuri.
If you have read 1 to 20, please go ahead.
Okay. You want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sarirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarottam pravaram muninam Patanjalim pramjaliranatosmi atha Patanjali yogaha sutrani pradhamodhyayaha samadhi padaha adha yoganusasanam yogaha chitta vritti nirodhaha tada drashtu swarupena sthanam vritti swarupyamitharatra vrittayah panchataya klishtaha pramana viparyaya vikalpa nidra smrutayah pratyakshanumana agama pramanani viparyayo midhya jnana matadrupa pratishtham sabda jnananupate vastu sunyo vikalpaha abhava pratyayalambana vrittir nidra anubhuta vishaya sampramoshaya smrutihi abhyasa vairagyabhyam tannirodha tatra stitau yatno bhyasaha satu dirghakala nairamtarya satkara sevito drudha bhumihi drushtanusravika vishaya vitrushnasya vasikara sanjna vairagyam tatparam purusha kyateruna vaitrishnam vitarka vicharananda smitanu rupanugamat samprajnatah virama pratyayabhyasa purvah samskara seshonyah bhava pratyayo videha prakriti layanam bhava pratyayo videha prakriti layanam Shraddha Virya Smriti Samadhi Prajna Purvaka iti resham.
Aruna, do you want to go next? And please come on the video only so that way we can see it.
Yeah, sure.
So you're reading until 20, right?
Yeah, we are reading until 20.
Okay. Yogena chittasya padena vakam malam sharirasya ka vaidyakena yopakarottam pravaram muninam Patanjalim Ranotsami Abahu Ranosmi
Patanjali Pranjali Ranatosmi.
Ranatosmi Abahu Purusakaram Sankakrasi Dharinam Sahasra Sirasam Svetam Pranamami Patanjalim Atha Samadhipadaha Atha Yoganushashanam Yogaschitta Vritti Nirodha Tada Drashtu Swarupe Avasthanam Vritti Sarupyamitaratra Vrittayaha Panchataya Klishtaha Pramana Viparyaya Vikalpa Nidra Smrutayaha Pratyakshanumanaagamaha Pramanani Viparyayo Mithya Gnana Matadrupa Pratishtam Shabda Gnananupati Vastu Shunyo Vikalpaha Abhava Pratyayalambana Vrittir Nidra Anubhuta Vishaya Sampramoshaha Smrutihi Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Tannirodha Tatrastitau Yatnon Abhyasaha Satu Dirghakala Nairantarya Satkara Sevito Drudabhumihi Drushtanushravika Vishaya Vitrushtasya Vashikara Sanghya Vairagyam Tatparam Purushakyater Guna Vaitrushtyam Vitarka Vicharanandasmita Rupanugamat Sampragnataha Virama Pratyayabhyasa Purvaha Samskara Sheshonyanaha Bhava Pratyayo Videha Prakruti Layanam Shraddha Virya Smruti Samadhi Pragna Purvaka Itaresham.
Ravali, are you ready?
Yeah, yes, I'm. Yeah. योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचां मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि अतः पाताञ्जलयोगसूत्राणि प्रथमोऽध्यायः समाधिपादः अत योगानुशासनं योगश्चित्तवृत्तिनिरोधः तदा द्रष्टुस्वरूपेव स्थानं वृत्तिसारूप्यमितरत्र वृत्तयः पञ्चतयः क्लिष्टाः प्रमाना विपर्ययविकल्पनिद्रा स्मृतयः प्रत्यक्षानुमानागमाः प्रमाणानि विपर्ययो मिथ्याज्ञानमतद्रुपप्रतिष्ठम् शब्दज्ञानानुपाति वस्तुशून्यो विकल्पः अभावप्रत्ययालम्बना वृत्तिर्निद्रा अनुभूतविषया सम्प्रमोषः स्मृतिः अभ्यासवैराग्याभ्यां तन्निरोधः तत्र स्थितौ यत्नोऽभ्यासः स तु दीर्घकालनैरन्तर्यसत्कारासेवितौ दृढभूमिः दृष्टानुश्रविकविषयवितृष्णस्य वशीकारसंज्ञा वैराग्यम् तत्परं पुरुषख्यातेर्गुणवैतृष्ण्यम् वितर्कविचारानन्दा स्मृतारूपानुगमात् सम्प्रज्ञातः विरामप्रत्ययभ्यासपूर्वा संस्कारशेषोऽन्यः भवप्रत्ययो विदेह लयानाम् okay श्रद्धा स्मृतिसमाधि प्रज्ञपूर्वाक इतरेषाम्
Shraddha Virya Smriti Samadhi Prajna Purvaka Itaresha. Archana? Okay. Archana, do you want to chant? Okay, I think we are done. Do you guys have the list of how to, what is first prachi, is it? We'll start the explanation.
Yeah. It's a namaskar to Patriji and namaskar to Patanjali Maharaj. So the 12th sutra, from 12 to 16, the sutra talks about, we talked about the 5 vritti in Viparya, Vikalpa, Smriti, Nidra. We talked about those vritti. So from this chapter onwards, the 12 to 16 sutra talks about how to stop those vrittis. Abhyasa vairagyabhyam tan nirodha. So abhyas means practice. There are many words he explained about vairagya on the channel. Rag means rang, and vairagya basically means staying in those colors but being transparent or not getting stuck to those colors. And Bhyam over there is there because it's a dual. There we need two things, abhyasa and vairagya, to control this vritti. Nirodha means to control, to stop. So basically it says what is the method of establishing control over this vritti, and what are the method is we need to practice, and we need to practice it in a dispassion way so that we can control over the vrittis. I love what it talked about in the book. It says the stream of worldly attraction is blocked, reduced through dispassion, which is vairagya. The stream of discriminative wisdom is opened up through the practice, which is abhyasa, of realizing discernment. So in our day-to-day life, what I have noticed is, we go into, we have so many things that we get attracted to. Now by practicing to control, by practicing these, by practicing, we at least open and go towards the process of controlling the vrittis. At least there are many times we don't even think about it. So just by practicing, it opens up the ways, and then we start following the way. So this is what I understood from the sutra, and it is pretty easy. Like we have to stay in this world. We have to do different things. You cannot just become, you cannot completely become disattached and just go to a different place and sit there. So staying in this world, how to control over this vritti is just keep practicing, and it will help to control over the vrittis. This is what I understood from this sutra. Madhvi, if you want to add something, I know it was not perfect, but it was very simple, but you can go so much in detail if, You're on mute, Madhvi.
for us to get into Abhyasa and Abhyasa and Vairagyam, they both like correspond each other. If you do Abhyasa, you get into Vairagyam. Actually, I was looking at one of the notes. It's really nice. Like what, Padma Madam didn't say anything. I would say the Patanjali Maharshi has, I can find that. Patanjali Maharshi has written all the practices that can make one can do the practices to get into the Vairagyam. It is really nice. I think I don't have the notes right now, but go ahead. After the next sutra, I will add on to it.
If it's in the book where the Vyasa commented?
No, I think I was looking at some other book. I think I'm getting so much involved in Patanjali Maharshi. I'm looking into too many things. And whenever I see something, I'm like writing it down.
And I feel we can connect it to what we are doing right now. We are practicing, our sutras. We are practicing daily, and we are learning about it. We are doing abhyasa. So through this, because every day, every minute, we get into things, we, especially the holidays and all those things. So we do get attached to many things. So this is just a beautiful way I can relate it to practically what we are going through every single day. That if you keep practice what you're doing, whether it's anything, whether it's just reading sutras or, learning and understanding more about it in deeper and deeper, you will get into the Vairagya stage.
Yes, definitely. They both correspond to each other, Abhyasa and Vairagya. And, like if you do Abhyasa, then the Vairagya will come. And if you do Vairagya, Abhyasa will come.
Automatically it follows. Yes. Yeah. With the practice of meditation or any spiritual practice, I think automatically the non-attachment to Vairagya comes. Yeah, that's true.
It also talks about discernment. The discernment takes you to the spiritual guidance. And there was another one in the book, which says samskara, where it takes you to the, if you don't practice that indiscrimination, where if you do that, it will take you towards the worldly
pleasures,
worldly treasures. Yes. So that was very understand.
Yeah. True. We can go to the next one. I think it's in the next one. It is written.
Hi all, good morning. Is the 13th is mine, right, Madhvi?
Yes, Archana.
Yeah, hi. Prachi has pretty much covered, I guess, all the sutras. But yes, I will just go ahead and say in brief. So the 13th one says, Tatra sthito yatro abhyasaha. So Tatra, like we have already seen, like what she was telling, like, from 12 to 16 sutra, it's teaching us what is practice and non-attachment. So this 13 says, like, what practice is. So Tatra means there, Sito means the situation, Yatna means effort, Abhyasa is practice. So it's defining, this 13th sutra is defining what Abhyasa is. What do we mean by this practice? So, and what are we practicing for? What is our goal basically? So practice, as per in this 13th sutra, is like they're saying it's a continuous effort to, to abide in the steady state of mind. So we all know, like, when we're talking about vrittis and everything, so, so our main goal is to, not exactly control, but try to be in that steady state of mind. So practice is nothing but, abhyasa is nothing but an attempt to, or the effort, which we have to continuously make. So it is a continuous effort. It's not like now and then, it is a continuous effort to be in that state of control, of all those vrittis which is going on, like all those cyclic thoughts which is going on. So we have to be in the continuous control. We have to make continuous effort to be in control of those vrittis. So basically it's being in that state of control. And it's also saying, and as per as what I felt, it's not like, any one particular thing, just like meditating. It's not like one in one direction, like, whether it is, meditation or yoga. So it's in diverse directions you have to try to be in that steady state, of control of that state of mind. So yes, pretty much that's it from for this 13th sutra.
Yeah, I think
It's a-
one thing I wanted
Uh-huh.
to add, one thing
Sure.
I wanted to add is very well explained, Prachi and Archana. Definitely, it is. This is something that we all need to practice. And one of the author was talking about the practice. Obviously, we have to do the vrittis. I mean, we have to keep aware of the vrittis. And then some of the things that he talked about is the physical practices of asana and pranayama will help you practice, and meditation. And we all know dharana, dhyana, samadhi. That's where we get into
all
it.
those 8 limbs.
Yeah. And I mean, like, it is like written in the whole of Yoga Sutras. That's what he has summarized. I mean, we haven't read all those yet, but I'm just stating. And devotion to God or self-surrender. So Ishvara Pranidhana. So he talks about in the future sutras, understanding and accepting suffering as a helpful purification. So that is tapas. And discriminative discernment, viveka.
Discernment.
Yeah. Viveka, and then swadhyaya, self-study. So these are all the practices that Maharshi talks about in the coming sutras.
Great.
Yeah,
that's what I was like. I just got those 2 points, like I was telling, right? It's not just one thing, like be it yoga. So you summed up pretty well that there are different aspects, different ways, different diverse ways in which we need to control, or make a continuous effort to control those vrittis. So yes, thank you. That's
And I
a
would
great point.
rephrase that what he talked about on the channel. I really love that line, what he said. He said, like staying in all those vrittis, you stay transparent, you don't stay attached to it. So we have to create memories, we have to sleep, all those things. But staying in those vrittis, don't get attached to it. So that was very beautiful, like staying in those colors, you stay transparent.
Great. Actually, Prachi, guess what? Yesterday I came across this quote, which says, when you get some thought, and usually they're talking about those, non-productive thoughts. So, for example, if you're angry, so, okay, some anger thought about some anger came, So, okay, this is this thought. So you have to observe that thought rather than connecting or adding an emotion or adding an energy to that thought. So it kind of, goes with what you're saying now. So you have to observe from like an outsider. Okay, I'm getting this thought and this thought is saying this. So, you don't have to go or touch or, get along or, just go with the flow of the thought. So you have to be an observer. So that's what you're calling as non-attachment.
Yeah, I mean, many people,
that's good.
And then, keep continuing being angry, and then it becomes a memory.
Good tip. Yeah, it's a good tip. Yes.
Yeah. So this is what I love.
Yeah, now on to the 14th.
Yes.
So the shloka goes like this. Sa tu dirgha kala nairantarya satkara sevito druda bhumihi. So this is again the continuation of the 13th one, where it said the practice. So as Prachi also said, there are 2 ways of bringing that Nirodha, so Abhyasa and Virodha. Now we are Vairagya, this one we are talking about practice. So how that practice should be is what we are dealing in this. The exact word-to-word translation is, it is the meaning of this shloka is, it is strengthened by prolonged, uninterrupted and well-performed application of action. So what it means is, so he's saying that practice, what we are talking about all along, that practice, it should be of a long-term nature. It should be continuous. So it should be continuous and uninterrupted, or there should be no gaps. There is no breakage or anything. It should be uninterruptible and also continuous. And again, Nairantarya is non-interruption. And Satkara is it has to be done with devotion or that positive feeling or positive attitude. And then with due respect, it should be done. Sevito is performance. Druda Bhumihi, then that firm ground is being established. So the practice should be done for a long time on a continuous basis with no gaps, uninterrupted. And it should be performed with utmost devotion. Then the ground is, it becomes firm, or the practice becomes firm and it gets established. So that is what, like as Madhvi was saying, it is like both are complementary. The Vairagya as well as the Abhyasa, they both are complementary to each other. So if they say only if Abhyasa is being done and is Abhyasa absolutely necessary? No, it is not. They are both mutually complementary to each other. So whenever we are established in Abhyasa, that continuous Abhyasa, it develops Vairagya. Then whenever that we are in constant state of Vairagya, that itself becomes Abhyasa. So that is what it says. It should be always continuous and uninterruptible and done with great reverence to establish. So this is 14th Sutra. Thank you.
Madhvi, you want me to start 15? Madhvi?
You can go as madam. She is on phone, it looks like. You can continue.
Okay. Number 15 is Drishtanusravika Vishaya Vitrushnasya Vasikara Sangnya Vairagyam. Here, Drishtano is the seer, seeing. And then Sravika is to hear, the hearing. In Vishaya, those are the things. Vitrushnasya. Trishna is the desire. Vitrushnasya is non-attachment, no desire. So that is Vasikara Sangnya. Here Vasikara Sangnya is the Apara Vairagyam. That is the one way of he explains in two ways. One is Apara Vairagyam and then the other one is Para Vairagyam. So in number 12, 12 Sutra, we learned that Abhyasa Vairagya Abhyam Tan Nirodha. So for yoga or Chitta Vritti Nirodha, we need two important factors, which are Abhyasa, practice, and Vairagya, non-attachment. And there are two Vairagyas or non-attachments. Those are Apara Vairagyam and Para Vairagyam. Apara Vairagyam is non-attachment towards the objective world, which we see. And non-attachment is the exercise of discretion, which is the Viveka. By this, slowly we gain control of our worldly desires and impure thoughts. So we get control of those which are worldly desires and the impure thoughts by asking ourselves, why do I really desire this object? What advantage do I get by possessing this? By asking these questions, we control our mind with the desires instead of mind with the desires controlling us. This is one form of Vairagya, which is the Apara Vairagya. Next one is Para Vairagya. That is non-attachment towards visual objects and desires for pleasures of the astral world. That is the Swarga Sukhas. So in scriptures, what we heard through the scriptures, when we do this yajna, we go to Swarga and we will have all the pleasures, So those are the non-attachment towards the visual objects and desires, pleasures of the astral world. The value of non-attachment gives value and significance to even the most ordinary events of the dullest day. That is, when we have the non-attachment, we don't, unnecessarily think about the objects which we don't need. So even the dullest day also, we enjoy. That's what here, the author is saying. And it eliminates the boredom from our lives. And as we progress and gain increased self-mastery, we shall see that we are renouncing nothing that we really need or want. We are only freeing ourselves from imaginary needs and desires. So basically, we are so satisfied, as we grow in our non-attachment and free of the desires. So in this spirit, a soul grows in greatness until it can accept life's worst disasters. So we can tackle any worst disaster. A quote from Bhagavad Gita says, "The seer experiences the peaceful who has forgotten the desires, free from ego, free from pride and attachment." And that's what the Bhagavad Gita quote also says. So at this stage, the seer experiences utmost peace. That's what this explains. Basically, he explains what is the, how this attachment has two forms. One is apara and para, and the next one also explains them in detail about the para vairagya. Thank you.
All right, I can go with the next one. 16. Tatparam purushakhyate guna vaitrushkyam. So as for sutras 12, 13, 14, 15, how they have explained, with through abhyasa, vairagyam, we can, prevent those. And also, Bala just mentioned, para and apara, right? Apara vairagya. So here, tatparam purushakyate. Tat is that, paran is ultimate, extreme. And purusha is here, purusha means not a man or woman, but it is like purusha is pure consciousness, self is addressed as purusha. Khyata is through knowledge. And guna, we know elements, and we will go further what gunas are involved also as we are explaining this sutra. And Vaitrishyam is a state of freedom from desire. So that again further explains what just Bala mentioned, how we can get through those vairagya. So what we had discussed earlier was apara vairagya, right? What just Bala mentioned. So para, the supreme vairagya, is even better and is the highest level of vairagya. So apara, and there is also para vairagya, so that is supreme vairagya, is even better and is the highest level of vairagya, in which on account of awareness of the purusha, which is self. So how in this sutra, more Maharshi is speaking how you can get to the vairagya stage. Means through anubhava gnanam. I can say like what I have understood is through knowledge, you can get that vairagya. So meaning like you just have to start looking inside and see like how you can get rid of, like, this is not me, like even like Ramana Maharshi's who am I, right? Who am I? So why am I attached to all these things? So by looking into yourself through your own anubhava gnanam, you can get that vairagya, actually what is needed. And then what here it says is the highest level of vairagya, on which on account of awareness of the purusha, there is a cessation, means the stopping of a thing, how you can stop that, of the least desires for gunas. So this is the highest kind of vairagya, about which it is very difficult to talk. So what is guna means, we can see like there are three types of gunas: sattva, raja, and tamas gunas. And also Padma Madam also mentioned how like through your five senses you acquire everything. You think that is me, that is me, that is me. Like, through eyes you see something, through ears you hear something, and then you form an image, like a self-image, that is me. But that is not actually you. But when you look into your own self and then start looking, is this me? Is this ahankara me? Is this what I am hearing? What I have found my false image, is that me? So you can just try to remove each of these by looking into yourself, and then through these gunas, right, you can find your own true self by the true vairagya. So, but vairagya is going beyond these three gunas, what we have just mentioned, sattva, raja, and tamas. So, sattva is goodness or purity, raja is passion or restlessness, and tamas is darkness or ignorance. So, so how we can go is where the meditator is in deep concentration and attains wisdom, then you can go beyond these three gunas also. So in Vyas commentary, highest knowledge is called vairagya. So once you get that vairagya, that means you have already attained the highest knowledge of the self, because only then you will get that vairagya. So it is like complementing each other, both of those. So the seeker realizes that except the inner spirit, every experience is just an external title only, what we are giving through these five senses. So therefore, detach from everything out of our own Atma, pure divine Atma. So just try to remove everything, and then you will find that purest purity. So to think of self is the greatest vritti. That is why practice and detachment not only remove this thought, but further strengthen this belief, as it makes practice and detachment more unshakable. So if you hear all the previous slokas, what they have explained, so very well explained. So through knowledge only, you can attain this. That's what. And Padma Madam actually, she also mentioned like to see Atma in, like some of the tips she has provided is to see Atma, that is self, in every being. And when we look at a person, we try to judge. So instead of judging, go beyond those gunas. We just have to go deeper and deeper by questioning ourselves. The other person also has, like how I have the divine self in me, so other person also has the same divinity in them. So by practice, like as we just heard that, so through practice and continuous practice, we can get to that stage. So when we do continuous sadhana, we'll think that what did we achieve? One of the yogi thinks that I have been doing sadhana for so long. What did I achieve? Padma Madam gave a small story how he was able to look into himself by going to Bhiksha and then looking how much he has evolved. And then he realized that he hasn't even evolved just by sitting meditation continuously. You cannot achieve, but it is like through questioning, and I think through continuous abhyasa, you can get there to total vairagya, which is pure consciousness stage again. Yeah, that's what I understood. And anybody can just provide more explanation if you have understood anything more. Thank you.
So paravairagyam is going beyond the three qualities, sattva, rajas, tamo gunas, and to see the oneness, same oneness everywhere. Yeah, that is, paravairagyam. Aparavairagyam is detaching the worldly pleasures. Yeah, wonderful explained, Arungara.
Very well explained. All of you guys did a great job. And Ravali, do you want to summarize, Amma?
Yes, Madam. So yeah, thank you so much. There were little gaps, I just filled it up. Thank you for all the wonderful explanation. So I think please excuse me, I can't turn on my video, it's recording, right? I put something on my head. So from 12th to 16th sutras, Patanjali master, he beautifully explains how one can master or cultivate and coordinate their five vrittis which arise in every human being, the chitta of every human being. So for that, he says directly in the 12th sloka, he says that it's through practice and non-attachment. I mean, I've just shared a picture in our group. I love Bruce Lee. Whenever practice comes, he just comes onto my face, because I remember one of his talking interview. He said that I'm not afraid of someone who has learned, who knows 100 steps, 100 kicks by the karate kicks they do, right? Karate kicks. But he said that I'm afraid of that one person who practices that one kick for 100 times. So that is the amount of practice that even, it brings out the true quality. It brings out the beauty in whatever you do. So he says, there's a beautiful analogy. I've just shared it in the group of how important practice is and how one should practice. So obviously, when you practice and you show non-attachment or you're detached from things, which he later explains in the later sutras, one can achieve whatever they want in their life. And I remember idea of this practice also comes in that book, Your the Placebo, right? Whenever you try to want to break a habit, you need to bring a counter habit and try to practice it so that your old neuronal networks break down and the new habit just comes out. So one needs to practice to have detachment, obviously, and one needs to be detached to practice. So they both complement each other. And he later in the sloka, he beautifully explains how a practice should be. The practice should be such that we should scrutinize every thought, every word, every action to prevent the vrittis arising in our chitta. And he beautifully explains the three qualities of practice. First one is the practice should always be long time. He says dirgha kala, he never mentions time period, because again we'll be in that a discussion of time period. So he beautifully puts dirgha kala, just long time, just go and sit and practice, that's it. Next, the second one is consistency without any break, because we sometimes hear people saying that I have done 10 years of yoga, meditation, it hasn't shown much improvement. But when we go and ask them, how often did you do? They say that I used to do for 3 hours, 3 days in 1 week. So that is not consistency. So one needs to have consistency, one needs to have longer time of practice. And the third one is earnestness. Our practice should have earnestness. That is, the mind, body, soul connection should be there. That's why, because in our teachers, and I think my mom used to say when I was in school, that your mind is body is present, mind is absent. So how much ever you sit for longer hours, how much ever you sit doesn't matter. It goes just waste. So your mind, body, soul should be present. That is called earnestness. These are the three qualities of practice. It should be long time, consistent, and mind, body, soul present. And these three qualities of practice should be complemented by the other three qualities, that is patience, devotion, and faith. Because in today's time, we want everything in instant gratification. Instant gratification is the motto. Everything should be instant. No patience and no faith and hope. Sometimes we go to a particular point and we lose the faith and hope and we'll just come back again. So when you hear these words, patience, devotion, and faith, I remember of the words of Sai Baba, Shraddha and Saburi. So when you have that patience and faith, the devotion towards the work will come. The practice becomes more beautiful. And whatever the work or whatever the thing that you do, the practice gets a beauty in it. So that is the qualities of practice that Patanjali master tells here. And now he describes further the qualities, further about detachment. Here we need to understand, that's why he says that practice should always be done in a right method with patience and faith, which shows one's devotion towards the work they do. So then he says about this vairagyam, that is the detachment. Now here we need to understand that detachment or non-attachment does not mean that you're not caring about things at all, or you're moving aloof from the situations in your life or all the things in your life. But here we need to understand that it's about making conscious choice to not to get attached by learning and discriminating to see it really objectively for what it is, not subjectively. We are not associating with us, but we are seeing it in a 360-degree view, in an objective way. So that is called detachment. So here the detachment, he explains about two forms of detachment, the lower and higher forms of detachments or non-attachments. So here in the detachment part, which he tells here, I've written it somewhere. So he says that if a mind is slave to one's desires, that's what he says, that if your sense organs, the one needs to gain the mastery over the objects that are perceived by our sense organs, the desires and the cravings that one person experiences, sees, or hears about. And once you are getting detached from those kind of cravings and desires, you attain that clear knowledge and ability to discriminate things in your life. So why is it important to get detached from these cravings and desires? Because if a mind becomes slave to one's desires, these desires, they keep on jamming up. They'll form like a train, like a trial. Because desires and everything are not permanent. They're temporary. They're always changing. One will make us to want another thing. So there is never stopping to that. It's an infinitive trail that will go on, go on, go on. So that definitely when the mind gets slave to this kind of desires, it will become restless, and a restless mind can't have any study practice. So he says that detachment, in fact, is more important for any practice to be ascertained on. So you have to have if to have a study practice, one needs to be detached from things. And for that detachment, they need to scrutinize every thought, every action, every word they speak. Is it right? Is it wrong? Why is it working for me? Is it not working for me? So that scrutiny should be there. And then he says that one also need to understand that non-attachment or detachment means not having goals in life, but it means that without any personal desires and expectations. One needs to be greedy, but greedy to earn money and serve others, try to remove suffering from others. We need to take care of ourselves, definitely, but we need to see, is it enough for me, or am I expecting more, or I'm trying to harness more money or keeping it for myself and doing and not doing any good to the society. So that kind of discrimination should be there, irrespective of the way of life each person lives. And the second quality of the higher level of detachment is about, he says that one will go and get that higher level of detachment when one will overcome these three qualities of nature, that is sattva, rajas, and tamas, because we and the nature around, you take any object matter, any matter that is made up of energy is made up of these three qualities. So we are born with it and we are surrounded with it. So if one can overcome all these three qualities also, not only the objective, like the materialistic gross ones, but also the qualities which are subtle, which we can't see through a naked eye, even at the level of atom and molecule, if you can overcome all these things and you can go to that state, then it becomes that state where you are no more under the slavery of these these desires and cravings. So for that, one needs to, he says that one needs to understand one's true selves. One needs to understand what they are truly are. Because once you understand that you are the creator, you are the nurturer, you are the destroyer, then there is no more, craving towards, all these object signs or anything. Once you understand that you are the Shiva, you are the Brahma, and you are the Vishnu, there is no point that, right? You know that you have everything. There's no more desires and everything. You are all that is. So one needs to get understanding of the true self. But once the true self understanding is gained, then that nectar is tasted by the person, then he will completely be free of all these things. And he'll see everything as a true self, or as it is, or as it has the nature in itself. He becomes that part of the nature. So he'll be overcoming all these qualities and all these desires and everything. And the practice becomes easy. I mean, obviously, it's practice to gain that stage, but this is all about in a culmination of what the 12 to 16 sloka has told about. Sutra has told about. Yeah, if please anyone can add anything.
Very beautifully explained.
Yeah, thank
Very
you.
well. Good job, Ravali. Wonderful.
Nice, very nicely said, Ravali. You summarized everything nicely. Sonam and Madhu. Sonam, do you want to share anything, Sonam, from 12? It looks like I didn't write your name next to any of those. Sorry about that. Sonam, did you prepare anything for the class? Oh, okay. Madhu, do you want to say anything, Madhu? Madhu from Austin, she wanted to join English sessions. So she's here today.
Yeah, hi, thank you. Very wonderful sharing. I thought the session was at 11:30, so I joined at 11:30, so I missed some part of it.
Yeah, you didn't miss much. It was just chanting you missed. So the explanation started from 11:30. So.
Yeah, these sessions are recorded, right? Could you please share the recording with me?
Yeah, if you're in the group, you'll get the. If you decide to join, then we will send you the recording. Definitely.
Yeah, sure.